Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to round 13 of TCR Europe in 2023. The circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya welcomes us for our penultimate race of the season. We have got three drivers at the head of the field, separated by absolutely nothing, and this weekend we will decide a new champion. Air temperature 19 degrees, track temperature a comfortable 22 degrees. The conditions are perfect for motor racing, and we're looking forward to going again for 12 laps for the first time this weekend before we wrap up our season tomorrow at 12:20 CEST. We've got a field of cars that have been through a qualification process and almost storybook-like. Our top three drivers in the championship are the top three drivers on the grid for this opening race of the weekend. And then, of course, as always in the world of TCR Europe, we will reverse the grid tomorrow as well. But the championship leader is this man, Tom Coronel. Fastest in Q2. He took the points that came with it as well. Coronel came in to this race weekend as our championship leader. He extends that to 13 points over his main rival and ComTU Racing teammate, Kobe Powles, second on the grid, sharing the front row with the established Dutch driver. Powles has work to do over the course of this race to slowly but surely erode that advantage Coronel had heading in to this first of two races this weekend. But for company, just behind them is John Philippi, the third protagonist in the championship battle, 30 points in arrears of Coronel. John Philippi will start behind his two championship rivals for this opening race. But of course, courtesy of the top 10 reverse grid, there'll be an opportunity to make ground in the second race of the day, the final race of the season tomorrow. Best qualifying result for Lewis Brown in 4th position, hot off the heels of taking a victory in TCR Spain on debut. Remember, Lewis Brown, new to the Conti racing setup, started the season at Volcano Motorsport, getting to grips with a new team and bringing some fine form to the Spanish racetrack this weekend. He'll be looking to move up the order and take advantage of the championship rivals ahead. Victor Anderson is a driver that perhaps was a little bit disappointed in the MAGP Lincoln Co. Only 5th on the grid. That car in free practice has shown significant pace. We've seen all season long from Victor Anderson. He has had the pace, certainly in qualification, but can never quite manage to get the big results we expect. This is a good chance for the Swedish driver, as it is a good chance for Nico Baldan as well, that we just saw briefly on our screen there. The Italian driver lines up in 6th position on the grid, another one of the Conti contingent. Another driver worth keeping an eye out, Levente Lasonche, that we're looking at now, the young Hungarian driver for Aggressive Team Italia. That Hyundai Elantra NTCR has proven to be quick over the course of this weekend. Lasonche, 7th on the grid, puts himself in a very strong position for a solid opening race of the weekend. And of course, he'll want to keep the car free of damage for race 2 tomorrow, where with the reverse grid, we'll move him up the order and give him the opportunity to potentially steal his best result of the season as the championship comes in to its dying embers this last weekend, the last 2 races of what have been an incredible 2023 season. We started all the way back on the 29th of April at Portimao, 6 months ago now, and in that time we have had 5 race winners, 5 victories for Kobe Powell's, 3 for John Philippi, 2 for Tom Coronel, Dusan Borkovic taking a single victory, and Ruben Volt, last time out at Monza, taking his debut TCR Europe victory in the ALM Motorsport Honda Civic that you can see there on your screen. They're 10th on the grid for this opening race, but that will be pole position tomorrow. So Ruben Volt has another opportunity to score big this weekend and continue his impressive debut season in the championship for both driver and for team. We can see the cars lined up on the grid now, getting ready to go racing for this very first time. If you're new to the world of TCR Europe, first and foremost, an outstanding time to join us on this season finale. A very warm welcome to you. What we're going to be doing for this race is a 12-lap sprint to the flag. Standing start. If there is a safety car, we do have it within our regulations that we can extend the race distance by a further 2 laps. So a maximum of 14. But let's hope that we get green flag running all the way through this race, and our drivers can have the fight that we all hope at the front of the field. So here's our qualification. Tom Coronel on pole alongside teammate Kobe Powell. John Philippi is 3rd on the grid. Lewis Brown in 4th position. Victor Anderson lines up in 5th. Nico Baldan keeping him company on the 3rd row of the grid. Levente Lasonche will start in 7th place ahead of Victor Davidovski in 8th. Davidovski locked in battle with Brown in the championship standings. Daniel Kachenko is 9th alongside series returnee Pepe Oriola in 10th. Ruben Fernandez 11th position. 12th on the grid is a new driver to the series. Cuesta Macchia, the team principal of the Aggressive Team Italia squad, is 12th. Ruben Volt 10th position in qualifying times, but will start this race from 13th place due to an issue after the conclusion of the qualification session. So as you notice there, any regulars, Pepe Oriola returning to TCR Europe competition. We saw him last season for the Brutal Fish squad in the Honda. He's been in a driver coaching and advisory role for the majority of this year, but he's making a return on his home race for Aggressive Team Italia. So, sorry, not for Aggressive Team Italia, for the RC2 team. Be very interesting to see how Oriola becomes slightly more accustomed to the car as the weekend unfolds, and if the Spanish driver can extract the pace that we know so very well over the course of this race and our second and final race of tomorrow. Fans in the stands getting ready to watch what we hope will be a fittingly spectacular penultimate race of the season. It's been a great year, it has to be said, in TCR Europe. It's sensational that we come into this final weekend of the year with just 13 points separating our top two drivers. Even more so that Tom Coronel, touring car veteran, touring car legend, I think it's fair to say, is the man who's leading the championship. Remember, despite the extensive career of Tom Coronel, he's never taken a touring car championship title. And alongside him, 18 years old, 19 years old on Monday, Kobe Powell's, in his first season of touring car racing, moved over from rallycross into circuit racing for this year, has become so established in the sport of touring car racing. He is going to be a name, not only that is a star now, but will be a star for years to come. In his first season, he is in championship contention. And then in third place, John Philippi, the French driver, 30 points after qualifying away from Coronel, but still very firmly in contention. Philippi has been a star of touring car racing at the front of the field in many championships for many, many years. He has the pace, he has the racing guile, he has the experience. Do not discount the French driver over the course of these next two races. He has more work to do than those in front of him, but one could argue he also has less to lose. He can afford to be aggressive in this opening race. He needs to be aggressive to finish in front of his two main championship rivals. That is going to be absolutely fascinating as these next 12 laps unfold. And we'll be going racing for these 12 laps in just a few moments' time. So don't go anywhere. This might be the penultimate race of the season, but let me tell you this. We have drama and stories that are going to unfold over the course of this next two races. And by tomorrow afternoon, we'll have a new champion. Engine start. 1 minute warning board leaves the circuit. The cars, in a few moments' time, will navigate their way around this beautiful Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya, 4.675 kilometers of premium racetrack. On their formation lap, they will line back up in the positions you see on your screen, and then absolutely anything can happen when that green flag waves. I'm looking forward to this one. It's been a long wait for the TCR Europe field this weekend. We have the last race of the day here at Barcelona. We qualified earlier, late this morning. The drivers have had time to assess the data, to assess their performance, make tweaks to the setup on their car, prepare themselves in the best way possible for a 12-lap dash to the checkered flag, headed by that man, Tom Coronel. He's been here before. He's been at the front of a racing grid, but he's never quite been this close to taking himself a championship title. Can he use the experience versus the youthful enthusiasm of Kobe Fowles versus the tenacity of John Philippi in third position? We'll find out in a few moments' time. And while we're keeping an eye on that championship battle, it's also worth pointing out that we have a very close fight indeed for fourth and fifth position in the overall championship classification. Victor Davidovski currently in fourth place, 244 points to his name, with just 27 behind his new Continu teammate Lewis Brown. Brown will be looking to try to make some inroads on the Macedonian driver's advantage to see if he can go into that fourth place. Come the checkered flag. Davidovski's had a strong season this year, not quite managed to take the victory that we saw in 2022. Davidovski's got a lot of work to do if he wants to try and add to his victory tally in this race. 8th on the grid, but of course tomorrow that will put him in the pound seats on the starting grid. Lights already ablaze from pretty much the majority of the field. We mean business in touring car racing. We've seen some great racing over the course of the day today here at the Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya, but I'm sure you will collectively agree with me when I say there's great racing and there's touring car great racing. And I expect this one to be a classic. Last time out at Monza, in mixed conditions, we had some incredible races. One could argue race 2 of the weekend at Monza was the race of the TCR Europe season, certainly in my book. So there's a lot to live up to for these drivers, and the championships on the line. Both teams and drivers. Coronel has taken the Diamond Trophy already. He's uncatchable at the top of the Diamond Trophy classification. It is the drivers and the rookies still up for grabs at the team's championship trophy as well between Continu and Continu Racing. Sister teams, It's going to be a lockout for Contiu, no matter what happens over the course of this weekend. Tom Coronel now seeing the newly reprofiled Barcelona circuit. Gone is the tricky chicane in the final sector, reverting back to the glory days, shall we say, of the Barcelona track. And that means the lap times have decreased significantly. A 1:48.968 in Q2 for Tom Coronel plays the qualifying record that was held by Jack Young last season of a 53.484. So the circuit is much quicker than we are used to here in Spain. The temperatures are pleasant. I don't think we're going to have too much in the way of drama in terms of tyre life over the course of the race stint. So unlike other forms of motorsport, my dear viewer, this is going to be every driver on this grid pushing as hard as they possibly can from green through to checker, and may the best man win at the conclusion of this race. Pepe Oriola's car there you see, diving to the right of your screen. That is the RC2 machine, very bright day-glow yellow on the Oriola car, very hard to miss in these racing conditions, striking as it may be. Oriola will be looking for a much better time of it has to be said, in the race than in qualifying. But here we go then, for the penultimate time this season. The lights are red, the lights have gone out, and we are go at the circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya, and that is a sensational start from Kobe Powell from second on the grid. He gets the jump on teammate Tom Coronel. Coronel has no response on the run down to the first corner. Kobe Powell takes the race lead. John Philippi, as you were in third position. Brown just slotted in ahead of Nico Baldan as well. Further down the field, Pepe Oriola has to go to the runoff area. He gets the RC2 Audi back on the racetrack again. Can he gather it back together? Yes, he can. He's just ahead of Levente Lasonche in the aggressive Team Italia car. But at the front of the field, Kobe Powell will have dreamt of this moment, and he has delivered off of the line. So Coronel, can he unleash some pace? Victor Davidovski, a little tap of the brakes as he makes contact with one of the Volcano machines. Davidovski now dives to the inside in the back of your shot. There is the Macedonian driver, stays alongside. Can he find a way past Daniel Kachenko? It's going to be the drag up the hill. Kachenko takes the advantage. Davidovski has to slot back in again as some smoke is kicked up on these opening laps. Tricky uphill chicane. Very difficult in the early stages of a race in a touring car. The car is at its heaviest, the tyres are at their coolest. It's all about who can feel and find and maximise the grip available to them. But so far, it is just about Kobe Powell, although now he's heavily on the defensive as Coronel tries to recover the lost ground off of the line. Powell through the back section of the racetrack. There is Victor Davidovski again in some kind of drama as Ruben Volt on this occasion that is going side by side with Davidovski has to slot behind the ALM Motorsport Honda. Pepe Oriola moves his way up into 8th position as well. Typically aggressive and committed start from the Spanish star. Good race from Pepe Oriola in these early stages, doing as much as he can to put himself in the pound seats. Just a bit further back as well, Victor Anderson had a nightmare off of the line. The Lincoln Co car, although he's making a move now, potentially, the Lincoln Co car has dropped all the way down to 11th position. There we see at the back of your shot, there is Victor Anderson side by side with Levente Lasonche. He'll have the inside line for the long swooping right-hander at Renault. He takes the position away, but Anderson very firmly on the recovery drive as Baldan now flashing his lights, trying to go down the inside of teammate Lewis Brown. Can the Italian driver hold on to the inside line? He has the advantage. They give each other racing room. The inside now is the one of Lewis Brown. Will he get the deal done? Yes, he holds on to that 4th position for now, but Nico Baldan on the attack again, gets a good launch off of the corner. Not enough room though to get the Audi down the inside. Yes, there is, says Nico Baldan. Thank you very much indeed. Outstanding move by the Italian. Brown on the recovery, trying to fight back almost immediately, and likes to drop back in behind the number 8 machine. But that's some great aggressive driving by Nico Baldan, and for his troubles, that moves him up into 4th position. Once again, Coronel trying to find the inside. Kobe Powell's seesawing away at the steering wheel, tapping into that rallycross experience as he's all locked up, desperate to hold on to this race lead, desperate to do what he can to claw back some of those 13 points that he is currently behind in the championship standings. If things stay as they are, Kobe Powell's will gain 5 points on Tom Coronel. That's the differential between first and second position. By all means, a useful advantage, but not enough to tilt the championship swing in his favour. So let's keep our eye on that one. Let's keep our eye on this little fight that's bubbling further back as well. We can see Victor Anderson just covering the inside line. Pepe Oriola showing his nose to the volcano machine of Daniel Kachenko as well. Oriola not quite close enough, as again sideways, kicking some of the dirt up on the inside of the car. Oriola is very firmly on his tippy toes in the opening stages of this race, and so far it's working nicely indeed in 7th position with Daniel Kachenko ahead. Just having a look, see if there's an opportunity. Inside line covered by Kobe Powell's. Good driving from the Belgian star, not defending too hard as to compromise his overall race pace, but giving the Dutch driver absolutely no sniff of an opportunity. Sideways though there for Powell's, that's going to compromise him. Out of the chicane, can Coronel find a way past? Not quite on this occasion. The Dutch driver still in 2nd position, but still pressuring his young teammate as hard as possible, trying to make Kobe Powell's make a mistake. Powell's very defensive into the hairpin, almost a kiss to the rear of the Audi from Coronel. Both drivers stay out of strife on this occasion, but it very much looks, in the early stages at least of this race, that Coronel is the one that has got more pace to unleash, but track position is very firmly in the favour of Powell's at the front of the field, who's doing a great job to defend the racing line and give absolutely no sniff of an opportunity to Coronel in the 34 behind. Further down the running order, John Philippi still staying in touch with this fight, but look at Nico Baldan. The number 8 car shows his nose to the inside. Philippi a little bit late on the defensive, but Baldan seems like he has good pace in that Comte machine, and John Philippi can ill afford to lose any positions in this race. He needs to stay in contact with these two drivers at the front of the field to keep himself in contention come race 2 tomorrow morning for the overall championship honours. It doesn't look like Philippi has the pace at this stage, but with only 4 laps in the books, there's still plenty of racing to go, and Nico Baldan and Lewis Brown behind as well can both very, very much get themselves in the thick of this action if things progress the way they are for John Philippi. So he's fighting a rearguard action. So is Kobe Powell's at the front of the field. He's got Tom Coronel a little bit further back now this time. Powell's bought himself a little bit of breathing space, but Coronel will just be reassessing where he can find the advantage as we look at Lewis Brown through our shot now, currently in 5th position. He's got Conti teammates ahead of him, but that will not matter one bit, because Brown is racing for his own championship charge, and his main rival for 4th position in the championship, Victor Davidovski, is all the way down in 10th place. So Davidovski not having a great run. There is one of the volcano cars that we see in a little bit of trouble. That is Daniel Kachenko. Kachenko has the inside line. Ruben Volt has the outside, but doesn't have the racing room that he needs to stay side by side with that volcano Audi. But Ruben Volt looking like he's got enough pace in the ALM Motorsport car to stay very firmly in contention, if not look to find a way past Kachenko now as we run down the start-finish straight for the long drag into T1 Elf corner. Kachenko recognises there is a threat from behind, covers the inside line, but leaves the door open. Can Ruben Volt use that to his advantage? Yes, he can. Thank you very much. Great on the brakes, slides the car over the apex as well, and that's another position gained for Ruben Volt into 6th place. Lovely drive from the Estonian. We've seen so much willingness to go door to door from Ruben Volt in recent rounds. Obviously, he's boosted by the victory last time out at Monza as well. The confidence levels on this young Estonian driver continue to rise, and that is another very committed, very confident pass. Look how the car gets unsettled on the curb. Good control from Ruben Volt, and Kachenko, for his part as well, gave him the racing room he needed to complete that manoeuvre. So that's 6th and 7th position advantage, ALM Motorsport. Kobe Powell's advantage still, though, at the front of the field, and John Philippi with Nico Baldan for company in 3rd and 4th positions. It's almost a game of high-speed chess at the front of the field. Everybody knows the weight of expectation that falls upon their shoulders into this race. This is not a race, realistically, that any one of these top 3 drivers can win a championship in, but they most certainly can lose one by doing something silly. And you can kind of see that in the body language of the car. Powell's did the job he needed to do off the line, took the advantage, took the race lead, and now is a case of conserving, defending, managing his pace and the pace of Tom Coronel behind, and putting the risk in Coronel's hands. If Coronel makes a mistake and loses positions, that's going to be advantage for Kobe Powell's. He has all of the advantage into this race. He's now put it on the shoulders of his Dutch teammate behind, and Coronel, for his part, a wily campaigner, it has to be said. He's just dropping back now into the second half of this race, just to give himself a little bit of breathing room and make a decision what to long play, not just for this race, but for his overall championship aspirations are going to be. So we'll watch that one unfold, but further back, no such worries for the likes of Victor Anderson. Remember, he qualified all the way up in 5th position, dropped well down the order at the start, and now to the inside of Kuchenko. Kuchenko closes the door aggressively, but then leaves racing room. Now the marbles become your worst enemy. Kuchenko has to dance the car around the outside line, and that's an easy pass for Victor Anderson. He now moves in to 7th position, so 3 places recovered following the terrible start off the line. The MAGP machine going well in the hands of Victor Anderson, but once again it's going to be one of those races where the Swedish driver has had the pace, but they're just not able to convert that into the results we know team, car and driver are capable of in TCR Europe. Anderson now has time to make up on the pack ahead of him. Just under 2 seconds is the gap between himself and Ruben Volt. Will Victor Anderson be able to find the lap time in the car over the course of these next few laps to close up to and challenge the Honda ahead? We'll find out as the race winds down. For his own benefit, though, Ruben Volt is within touching distance of Lewis Brown as well, so Volt not running to the optimal speed he possibly can in the ALM Motorsport Honda Civic Type R FL5 TCR, so they'll squabble amongst themselves. Victor Anderson will be digging around the back of the sofa, trying to find himself some lap time to get into that conversation as well, as our leaders continue as they were. 1, 2 and 3. Kobe Powell's, Tom Coronel, John Philippi. No change there. The gaps are starting to even out. Kind of smells a little bit like they're settling for the points in this first race and getting ready to go again in race 2. We'll see if anything bubbles over in the next few laps, but the real attention needs to be focused at this stage on this little battle that we can see between Daniel Kuchenko and an aggressive-looking Pepe Ariola, showing his nose to the inside, trying to pressure the number 7 ahead into making a mistake, but no such mistake is forthcoming for Kuchenko at this stage. And then just behind, Victor Davidovski, having a bit of a dramatic start to his race. He's keeping a watching brief as well, seeing if an opportunity presents itself. Davidovski being a little bit off key, but here is Pepe Ariola's chance now. He has the inside line, he has the high line, he has track position. Daniel Kuchenko loses that place. Davidovski tries to buy into it as well, but Victor Davidovski doesn't have enough room to get his Audi alongside the Volcano Motorsports machine. Pepe Ariola at 1, Daniel Kuchenko down 1, and Victor Davidovski fancying his chances of sneaking another position as well. Davidovski shows his nose to the inside of the hairpin. That's a danger point, a pinch point of this Barcelona circuit, but he was wise enough to back out of that one. Don't go too wide through that corner so late into the apex. Davidovski holds on, stays in 10th position, but Daniel Kuchenko fighting a rearguard action in this race, it has to be said. Looks to be under pressure from Davidovski. Levente Lasonche is buying into that one as well, so let's keep our eyes on that one. Let's keep our eye on this one too. Ruben Volt now lining up to get interested into the back of Lewis Brown. Brown himself has dropped away from Nico Baldan by a few tenths over the last couple of laps. He's becoming detached from those top 4 drivers ahead of him. So Volt, and Brown locked in battle as we come to the final few laps of this race. Ruben Volt last time around set a 151.392, Lewis Brown a 151.188. They're very similar on pace, but it does look like Ruben Volt has the advantage at this stage. But as Murray Walker once very famously said, catching is one thing, passing is an entirely different thing indeed. And Lewis Brown will not be keen to give away what is a strong 5th position for the opening race of the weekend here at the Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya, round 13 of the TCR Europe Championship, the penultimate race of a very exciting 2023 season. There is Ruben Volt, ALM Motorsport, first time TCR Europe this year. The team have been very impressive. Matthias Vettel driving the car for part season, Ruben Volt driving the car as well to great effect. As I say, taking victory in the mixed conditions and dramas of last time out at the Monza circuit in Italy. So confidence is high, success ballast is high as well for Ruben Volt, but he's doing a good job in the Honda Civic Honda Civic Type R FL5 TCR, to give it its full name. And Ruben Volt, disappointing qualifying, 10th on the grid, not where he was wanting to be. Yes, it is pole position for the reverse grid race, but Volt is doing a good job to work his way through the field, all the way over the curbs to the final corner. You can see the commitment behind the wheel of that Honda, and he's trying desperately to find a way past Lewis Brown. But Brown concentrating on the lines, make no mistakes, give no opportunity or racing room to the Honda driver. And the Englishman doing a good job so far up there in 5th position. So, 9 laps in the books. Kobe Powells is our race leader from Tom Coronel. John Philippi is in 3rd position just ahead of Nico Baldan. There we see the fight between Lewis Brown and Ruben Volt, 5th and 6th position. Just a little bit rear from those are the bright orange car, the MAGP machine of Victor Anderson in 7th place. Pepe Ariola, and there we go, Ruben Volt now to the inside. Brown sees him, gives him the racing room. Ruben Volt has become his trademark. Last minute move to the inside. Brown tries to close the door for the long sweeping left-handed contact between the two of them. Can Lewis get the car back on the racetrack? No, he's in the gravel. Very little the Englishman could do about that one. He keeps the car running though, doesn't get it bogged down in the stones, and he'll be able to get back on to the racetrack. So hopefully we can stay green. But look at the stones that are kicked up off the back of that Compte machine. That is such a shame. From 5th and 6th position, contact between them, that moves Victor Anderson up as well as it does Pepe Ariola, Kachenko and Davidovsky. But let's have another look at this one. Brown tag from behind from Ruben Volt. Away goes Lewis Brown into the gravel. Does well, to be fair, to keep that car going. And that is such a shame for that race to come to an end. It's going to be particularly interesting for these race leaders to get into that piece of racetrack in a few moments' time. There'll be stones on the track, there'll be less grip than they're used to as well. We'll see an incident between cars 127 and 39 under investigation. That is the Volt and Brown incident that we've just seen on our screen. So the stewards will be looking at that one. They have a well data and camera angles and telemetry and of course testament from the drivers themselves to make that decision. But further up, the main thing is we stay under green flag conditions. That's going to be a relief to these drivers. And let's see now as we navigate our way around the 14 corners of the Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya. No doubt the teams have been on the radio. There are going to be stones on track. Grip is going to be very firmly limited compared to what you're used to. And let's hope everybody can make it through for the first time. Here we are. This is where the incident took place. Kobe Powells is the first one upon those stones. No real drama for any of our top 3, top 4 drivers. Everybody's through. Kobe Powells holds on to that lead, and John Philippi has closed that gap a little bit in 3rd position. He was dropping away at one point, but the French driver now winding slowly but surely back on to the rear of Tom Coronel as we head into the final 2 laps of the first race of the weekend of the penultimate race of the 2023 season. Lewis Brown stays on the racetrack, by the way. He rejoins in 12th position, just ahead of Guestamacchia, the team principal of Aggressive Team Italia, making his debut in TCR Europe this weekend, currently in 13th position. Brown just ahead in 12th place. Ruben Fernandez is the next man up the road, so it's good to see that the Conti car stays in the race at the very least, as we now cross the line once again. 11 of 12 laps in the books. Kobe Powell's still our race leader. 7/10 of a second is the advantage to Coronel in second. John Philippi a further 7/10 in arrears in third position, and Nico Baldan watching, waiting to see what transpires amongst his three teammates, championship rivals just ahead. Ruben Volt stayed on the racetrack, didn't lose much time, holds on to fifth position just behind these four race leaders. Victor Anderson, courtesy of a 3-place gained, is now up into sixth, but is very close to the Honda ALM machine of Ruben Volt, so fifth and sixth becoming a bit of a squabble. Pepe Oriola 4 seconds detached in seventh, places ahead of Daniel Kichenko in eighth. Davidovsky in ninth. Levente Lasonche rounds out our top 10 drivers. Then it's Fernandez, Brown and Guestamacchia in 11th, 12th and 13th positions. But this is where the eyes are in this race. Championship leader Tom Coronel coming into this round, 13 points to the good. If Kobe Powell crosses the line as race winner, he will close that advantage by 5 points. John Philippi will only score 30 in this race compared to the 40 of teammate Kobe Powell's at the front of the field. The day, the weekend and the quest for the title becomes a little bit harder for John Philippi, still mathematically in with a shout, but it's getting more and more difficult for the French driver. He'll have 35 points disadvantage to Tom Coronel, just 40 left to play for in race 2. So a 3-horse race on the final lap looks very firmly like it is going to be whittled down to these two drivers who are first and second in our race. Lights are ablaze, the sun is setting here in Spain, and for the final lap, Kobe Powell's is our race leader. Coronel looks like he's settling second place, and John Philippi, a frustrated John Philippi, in third place, seeing his aspirations of a TCR Europe crown looking much more difficult indeed. Here is 18-year-old Belgian star Kobe Powell's. Speaking to him prior to the race, he said there's only one target coming into this: get a good launch, get a clean run down into T1, take an early race lead and control the race from there on in. And that is exactly what Kobe Powell's has delivered. He needed this result. Yes, ideally for the number 22 car, Tom Coronel could do with finishing a little bit lower than second to make that point. He claws back all the bigger, but 5 points advantage over his Dutch rival will do the job very nicely indeed, and sets us up for a battle royale tomorrow morning for our second and final race of the weekend. So one last time, down into the tricky hairpin, past the grandstand on the right-hand side, on the throttle for the run up the hill. This is a tricky turn here at the Barcelona circuit in the TCR front-wheel drive touring car. The balance looks good though on the 22. Powell's now into the final run of corners through Elf on the accelerator, the final turn of New Holland. Powell's will look up from his steering wheel, see the checkered flag to the right-hand side, goes to said checkered flag, flash of the lights, and a race victory for Kobe Powell's. Tom Coronel in second position. John Philippi rounds out the podium places. Nico Baldan in fourth place, and there is almost as one Ruben Volt and Victor Anderson in fifth and sixth positions. On my screen as well, I'm seeing pop up a drive-through penalty for Ruben Volt, converted to 30 seconds at the end of his race time due to that contact with Lewis Brown. So Volt crosses the line in fifth position, but will fall down the running order when the final classification has been called. I dare say some quick mental maths looking at the timing screen, that will probably drop him to 12th position. So that moves up Victor Anderson into a provisional fifth, Pepe Oriola provisional sixth, Daniel Kichenko in seventh, Davidovsky to eighth, Lasonche into ninth, Fernandez into 10th and Lewis Brown into that 11th position. And here are the championship points. 8 is the difference between Coronel and Kobe Powell's. John Philippi now is 35 detached from the front of the field, and there is Victor Davidovsky, 184 in arrears in 4th, Brown 217 back in 5th position, Victor Anderson in that 6th place. So now a fight between 3, realistically speaking, becomes a fight between 2. Courtesy of that race victory, his 6th race victory, it has to be said, of the season. Kobe Powell's is the man in the pound seats for our 2nd race, and he will be starting on a reverse grid in 9th place. Who's behind him? Tom Coronel. Lots to play for. Make a date in your diary, folks at home. 12 CEST. Tomorrow for the final time we tango in TCR touring cars, and it's going to be one you do not want to miss. So here we go. These are round 13 results of a provisional basis. Kobe Powell's from Tom Coronel and John Philippi round out the podium places. Nico Beldan, Victor Anderson moves up to 5th, ahead of Pepe Oriola. On his return in 6th position, Daniel Kachenko 7th, Victor Davidovsky in 8th, Levente Lasonche is 9th, and Ruben Fernandez rounds out our top 10 runners. Lewis Brown is 11th, and there is Guasto Macchia in 12th. Ruben Volt, with that 30-second time penalty for the contact with Lewis Brown, is classified in 13th position. And once again, these are the points, provisional point standings, with just one race left to go. Tom Coronel, by the slenderest of margins, is our championship leader. Kobe Powell's, though, has the momentum and has the confidence of a race victory in his back pocket, snapping at the heels of the Dutch veteran in 2nd position. We wanted the championship to go down to the line. It's touring cars, of course we do. It's always going to be a last race decider in a touring car championship. And my oh my, do we have a championship fight on our hands. The experience of Tom Coronel plays the youthful enthusiasm of Kobe Powell's. The only thing we're missing is a little bit of spice. There's a lot of respect between these two drivers, and look at this, Coronel being the first man to congratulate his championship rival. Big handshake, big cheers from the crowd. Apologies for Tom's language there, if you heard that one on the broadcast, but there is Kobe Powell's, and that's great sportsmanship. Their teammates, their rivals, it means more than you could possibly imagine to both of those drivers, but still Coronel, sporting, shakes the hand of his rival, and look at this family, all very, very excited, very, very emotional for Kobe Powell. Such an incredible family, an incredible driver, and another incredible result. And there is Tom, kiss from Paulina, celebrating a good result. Coronel, a trophy for the cabinet, minimised the potential damage. He's still got 8 points. Doesn't sound like a lot, but in the world of touring cars, that's a huge amount indeed. And there is a forlorn-looking John Philippi. Sorry to say for John, but that is not mathematically, but realistically, the conclusion of his championship charge for this season. And there is the Frenchman. He's had a great year, though, to be fair to John Philippi, new to the Conti Racing squad, new to the Audi RS3 LMS TCR, and he's taken it all the way down to the end of the season. So, a lot to be proud of, a lot to be satisfied about for John Philippi, for sure. And mathematically, there's still a possibility for that championship. So here we go then, a few highlights of round 13 of the TCR Europe under the beautiful sunshine here in Spain at the Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya. We came into it with a 15-point advantage, 13, sorry, for Tom Coronel. Pole position, the best place to start, but not a good run off of the line. That opened the door, that gave the opportunity to Kobe Powell's that he would not relinquish for the remaining 12 laps. Further down the field, Ruben Volt, as has become the norm this season. Very aggressive, very committed in the ALM Motorsport Honda. He was the biggest mover and shaker through the field, side by side, door handle to door handle, but he got a little bit too close for comfort alongside Lewis Brown. Brown spat off into the scenery, a 30-second time penalty, Ruben Volt's reward, but no such drama for this man in car number 22, 18-year-old Kobe Powell's, flash of the lights as he crosses the line, and with it 40 points, and closing on the overall championship challenge at the front of the field. Great drive from Kobe Powles, solid result from Tom Coronel to minimise any potential damage, and probably the most disappointed man ever to stand on a racing podium, John Philippi, third place. In on itself, a good result, but he knows that is the end of his championship charge, realistically speaking, as he steps up onto the podium at Barcelona on that third spot. Second position, Tom Coronel. Will we get the Coronel leap? That's the big question on everybody's lips. Or will he be a little bit more reserved? No, Tom Coronel reserved. Don't be stupid, Paul. There we go, to the cheers of the crowd. And then Kobe Powles. There is the Coronel leap. We all love that one for the photographers. Poor old Tom's knees must be struggling. And there is Kobe Powles, our race winner, top of the Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya podium. Very, very good result once again for the ComTU team. 3 cars knocked out the podium. And now for the national anthem. And that is the 6th time we've heard that this year. Who would have thought this coming into the season, that Kobe Powles, a convert to the world of tarmac racing, touring car racing, front-wheel drive racing, the Audi, the team, the championship and the field, would take 6 race victories, making himself look like a veteran of touring car racing right from the very off. Incredible season. No matter what happens, Kobe Powles has covered himself in glory. But the man's not after glory, he's after trophies. In particular, he's after the championship trophy. Tom Coronel got 2 though, 1 for second position, 1 for the winner of the Diamond Trophy. And here is our race winners trophy coming the way of that man Kobe Powles. Very happy indeed. Overall race winner and also rookie trophy winner. So a double trophy haul as well for Kobe Powles. He's great on a racetrack, not so good at juggling awards. There we go, arms aloft to the expectant crowd behind. And then for ComTU as well, their first place trophy. Quite the collection of TCR trophies this team and these drivers are gathering over the last couple of years. A lockout of championship success for the 2nd year in a row. On paper that might sound dull, but in reality it has been such an incredible fight amongst these drivers. And now a bit of celebrating, spraying of that champagne. Before too long, it'll be time to put the game face back on again and go racing. So, see you all tomorrow at 12:20 CEST. Bye-bye.